Yeah, I told my dad last night. I talked to him, told him I saw your dad and you guys there. It's pretty awesome. We both got 3 generations represented here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Not a lot that in the tungsten industry, it seems like most of the generations are
they kind of fizzle
yeah,
out.
it's
after
like they're fizzling
2.
out, and second one goes away. So it's pretty cool that it's good to meet Logan, and good to see that he's in the business.
Yeah, I don't know for you, but for me, it was just a huge blessing to get to spend the majority of my career sitting right next to my dad.
Yeah,
it's it's a really huge blessing.
Yeah. Well, Brian. It's good to have you on Cliff's Notes podcast, representing CP Carbide, and it was great to see your dad.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here, Cliff. Gosh, we go way back, and it's cool to get to see each other, and we're all separate opposite parts of the country. It's kind of cool to see each other every once in a while. So,
what year did your dad start CP?
Well, I graduated college in 1990. I came out of college, and my dad was running a machine shop back then, and we were, he was struggling. It's not easy to make stuff in California, and we were making primarily wear parts back then, and just running a machine shop, and we really weren't getting it done. But with wear parts, we used a lot of tungsten carbide. So my dad, I think in '88, he went over to China and made a really good connection there with the tungsten factory, and so we were importing all of our tungsten to make our wear parts with, and we started selling carbide on the side to different, and not using it for our own use and for our wear parts, but actually selling to other clients, and we were doing really good with that. But the manufacturing wasn't our jam. We're not very good at it, So it was in 1995, we just closed down our machine shop and started to import carbide. Just my dad and I were like, well, you're going to get this done, Dad. You go sell, and I'll handle all the leg work, the running to the porch, then all that stuff. And we just kind of grew it from there.
Unbelievable, man. Yeah. I mean, to go from I don't mean by just a machine shop, but the aspects of what it took to run a machine shop versus running a global import-export company of a commodity, that's a big swing.
Yeah, it was a big change. My dad actually, his father had a machine shop, so he kind of grew up, and he worked for Sandvik for a while, so he kind of knew carbide, and it was a huge advantage to us because we knew what it took to make things, and to run a machine shop, what a lathe and a mill and all that stuff were. So we kind of knew a little bit about it. He knew a lot about it. I knew very little about it, but it was educated quite quickly.
So the relationship with your product, import, export, are you actually manufacturing a tungsten part? I know you do everything you also do steel parts as well. So you're not just, I know your carbide is in your name, but you all are more diversified than just carbide.
Yes, we do a lot we do some in automotive and just machine parts that don't involve tungsten. It's kind of funny how that evolved, was that we were, supplying one guy with tungsten carbide, and he's like, gosh, you guys are doing a great job with the tungsten carbide. How about you get us some steel parts? We need some steel forgings. And that's my first trip to China was in 1999, and we had made a contact over there, which is a young guy on a moped riding around, a sales guy, and we just kind of built that together. And he helped us, and he's actually runs our factory over there now. So,
oh wow!
Yeah, no, it's really funny how that kind of all evolved. And he was a sales agent, and he was representing a bunch of different forging companies, and he would take our PO and run it around and see and then he said, I'd really like to do this myself. Can you help me? So we had no money back then, but we scraped some together and helped him, lease a piece of land and buy some equipment, and we were off and running. Yeah.
So you guys are both hustling. He's hustling over there. You're hustling here.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. And back then we had no margin for error at all. We had everything that we did had to be good, had to be profitable, because we were just squeaking by the skin of our teeth on both sides. So
did you Do you feel like in the early days, like what was the barrier to entry? I mean, you mentioned Sandvik already. I mean, most people in the industry know who some of the major players are, but what was your barrier to entry from a trust perspective, a performance perspective? What was that like?
Well, it was mostly China, because back then when you heard the name China, what did you think? Cheap, import, can't trust them, lousy quality. So we had to kind of teach our guys over there how to make quality product consistently every time. And then we had to convince the North American market, we know what we're doing. We can provide, so if there's an issue with your part, you can come to California and wring my neck. You don't have to get on a plane and fly to China and do the same thing. So it took us a long time, and then we still fight that a little bit today. But our factory now is a state of the art, and we run against all the big boys, and we're really proud of our quality. And we've qualified with some of the biggest OEMs in the world, and was not an easy thing to accomplish. So,
do you feel like the tipping point for trust, confidence, reliability, how much of that was just time? Because you guys have been doing it for several years now, or was it time, and also was there a shift in confidence in the West in China's ability to be able to really produce not just somewhat competitive, but identical or even outperforming products?
Yeah, it was mostly time and relationships. I mean, we were fortunate, Cliff. We're really blessed with some great clients that trusted us with a lot. So you take that on your shoulders. You want to do a good job for them.
Yeah.
So we, and most of our material we private label. So if you buy a product, it doesn't have my name on it. It has a customer's name on it. If it's going to have a customer's name on it, it better perform. It better not fail. So.
That's interesting. Let's talk about that for just a second. So if somebody's looking for parts of steel, tungsten, steel and tungsten together, they can contact your company and literally private label that part. So it wouldn't say CP Carbide on it.
No.
It would say ABC Parts Company.
Yeah, and that's kind of how we've marketed our company, Cliff, in that we don't. Somebody will come to us and say, hey, I'd like you to make this part. And we'll say, well, let's make it a little better. Let's change something, and then let's make it your part. Let's put it in your box. Let's put your name on it. So when your client receives it, they view it as your product, not mine. Because if they view it as mine, one of us is not necessary, and usually that's me. So, we'll like I said, put the client's markings on it. It's all there. We'll go through their QC process.
Sure.
And that's kind of how we built our brand. So you see we're kind of in the back, and it's we don't show a whole lot on our website because we do we make other people's stuff. So
okay, so you're basically like providing that service for them and promoting their brand, and you're kind of in the background then,
right?
Okay.
Yeah, correct. And then so we've got to have a lot of trust with our clients as well as our factory, because they've got to be secretive and NDAs and all that. So we we protect our clients and we on both sides.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to get like deep into politics, but I think based on what we're doing as a whole, I mean, if you look at just tungsten in general right now, it's super hot because it's we've got the current administration talking about critical raw materials. Tungsten is a critical raw material. Relationships with China going all the way back to Trump's first administration. Biden didn't really change any of it. So it's trade-wise, it's safe to say it's been rocky. So tungsten in general has some headwind right now. And then this is kind of your bread and butter, and you've got the relationship across the big pond.
Yeah.
So what headwinds are you concerned about?
Well, I mean, my poor family is really tired of me yelling about tariffs, what I've been yelling for. They turn off the TV, but
they're like, put the news on mute. They're covering tariffs right now.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we won't get into the politics of it. But what happened in China is they just put controls on the tungsten. They're consuming a lot of it domestically. So their consumption domestically is quite a bit more than it was. They were more of an export economy. Now they're more of a domestic internal economy. So, and that has driven just tungsten has just been out of sight, as you well know. It's just we've never seen anything like this. It's difficult for the companies to get the material, and just and it's changing like overnight. We can't hold quotes for longer than a day or two. So
yeah, and when you say we've never seen anything like this, I mean, if you look at the numbers, the only thing that even gets close to correlation is right around World War II, when we were using so much tungsten for everything that goes boom, and there was just a constant demand. So most people alive today have seen nothing like what we're experiencing at the moment.
World War II was before my time, even surprisingly, but no. So we're now exploring some different materials, to alternative materials, because it's just cost prohibitive. I mean, technically we make a part that goes into the ground and digs dirt, and to have a part that goes from $10 a piece up to $200 a piece doesn't make sense for the guy dragging it behind his tractor. So we're looking at some alternative materials and alternative applications and whatnot. So you're probably familiar with the ITIA. Oh, sure.
And they had their annual convention in Helsinki last year in October. We did some podcasts while we were there. No one there saw the prices of APT that we're seeing right now. It wasn't on anyone's radar at all. I think equally, if we were to say, hey, what's the real threat of looking at replacement options for tungsten? I think people who are entrenched in the tungsten world are going to be hardliners and be very hawkish and say, no, it's not possible because of tungsten's, performance capabilities and this and this and this. And I believe some of that to be true, but I also think you're about the fourth person that I've talked to recently, a few of them on podcasts, that are like, hey, we're looking for replacement. I mean, it is becoming a concerning narrative for the tungsten industry that it is outpricing itself for viability, no matter how good of a performer it is.
Yeah, and my dad has been screaming this for as long as I can remember. There's only so much tungsten in the ground. And when that's gone, it's gone. So we constantly, he was 20 years ago saying we need to find alternatives, alternative materials, alternative, applications. So, I just think it's going to continue to the controls are going to continue to tighten. And so, and it's difficult because we built our whole factory, our whole business structure around tungsten carbide wear parts. So now we're scrambling to try to, find some alternatives. So.
Do you feel like some of the have you researched any of Trump's what he's calling the critical minerals vault? Have you researched any of that at all?
A little bit. I've looked into it. There's not a whole lot, at least that I've been able to find so far. I'm curious, is tungsten going to be added in there? And if it is, and who gets the how do they divvy up who gets what? I mean, because as you know, it's used in so many different. The wear parts is just a tiny little thing where you've got it's used in a lot more. What people would consider, not me, more important uses for it. So
I don't mind saying on recording that it is going to be in there, but once we get finished, we should talk about some more details that I don't want to just make public to everybody.
Gotcha.
But I think one of the things that's interesting, and this is pretty much common knowledge right now, is that they're talking about setting in a floor for this list of critical raw materials. So one of the challenges in the West that we've had for being able to stand up any kind of tungsten production mining is because China would always just drop the price of concentrates coming out so they could do concentrates, APT, YTO, BTO, any of that stuff at a discount level, and then just run the Western mines out of business.
Yeah, which is what they did. They built their industry up, and they've worked really hard these past 20 years in building their mines and the processing and all that.
Yeah. So if this can hold, and again, it's still being fleshed out, some of the details, but if the floors can be put in place, then what that would do is that would automatically trigger extenuating tariffs. I know that's a word you're not liking right now,
yeah.
but it's just something to talk about, because that's going to make it even more complex from the landscape that you and I have been used to for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So really, it makes the future very unknown and probably quite volatile. And to me, again, there's some things that I think are good, because I do think we do in the West, it's unwise for us to not have any pure raw material coming out of the ground. That's just risky. But on top of that, it's so market disruptive. My fear is it's going to make products like what you and I have known to be tungsten carbide tipped or coated or whatever. I think we're going to see some of that go away pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think it has to. It just becomes cost prohibitive, and it's the tungsten is better served. I mean, $1 per ton going into batteries or going into dental drills or cutting tools, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
are you guys also into any kind of cutting tools like CNC tooling, or mostly like mining and ground engaging tools?
Yeah, primarily mining and ground engaging, wear parts, anything that drags and wears out. I mean, we do a lot in snow removal. And so,
is there anything you can share with us that you're thinking that would be a possible substitute? Would it be like a high-speed steel, a tool steel?
Yeah,
we
looked at that a little bit. I mean, PCD is really interesting because of, for a long, it's a great wear material, but it's been cost prohibitive. But now as tungsten's creeping up, it's becoming more possibly a viable option.
Oh, okay. So you're actually thinking a little bit differently than where my mind was going. You're saying, hey, this product, is it PDC or PCD?
PCD, polycrystalline diamond.
Okay, I say that backwards.
Yeah,
all
I get
the
it
time.
backwards too sometimes too.
So polycrystalline diamond was like the upper echelon of performance and wearability, but also super expensive.
Crazy
right?
expensive.
So people are like, hey, I could buy it, but I don't really want to run the risk, because this is something that's wearing out, you know?
Yeah.
So they kind of go with what we would say as a tungsten carbide part, which is good enough. Your theory is that, okay, well, that's climbing and they're getting closer together now.
Yes.
So maybe people would consider that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're working on now. But that creates a whole different set of challenges, because now you've got this cutting edge that won't wear out. So now you've got to support the carrier. I mean, the carrier is going to take a lot. You've got to, sure, you have a cutting edge that's going to last 3-4 years, but will the steel bar that's supporting it, how are you going to support that? So it's it creates a whole new set of challenges, fun challenges, but
I think one of the modern marvels, I said this on another podcast, that just blows my mind, especially with road construction, like on a cap bit.
Yep.
Where you've got this steel body and this little cap of tungsten carbide sitting on there with a piece of braze. Like, when you take it apart, you're like, really? That's all that was holding that together?
Yeah.
And it's on this high horsepower machine that's doing just all this direct ground engagement. It still blows my mind every time. Now, the ones that are inserted, I get that.
Yeah.
But those ones that are just like hanging out
They're
on the
just
top,
hanging out there.
I don't know how that stays on there.
Most of our stuff, Cliff, it's a violent application. I
Yeah.
mean, we're smashing something, we're beating something, and it's just, that little piece of carbide, it's amazing the work it'll do. And hang on, and it's quite amazing. So,
well, tell us something notable. We've been talking about some headwinds, maybe a little bit negative or whatever, but let's talk about something notable and positive that's going on with CP Carbide, something that we can look to the future with, not just that Logan maybe is going to take over the kingdom here before too long.
Yeah, we're kind of, I'm kind of in an interesting phase in my life, my career. Like our youngest child is just about to head off to college, so my wife and I are going to be empty nesters here pretty quickly. And like, we've just been running and gunning and grinding, raising the family, building a business for these past 30, almost 40 years. Now it's like we're coming to a different stage in our life personally. So, and of course, we want to see the business, just like my dad's vision, to keep the business thriving. And so we've got to take steps now as we bring in the third generation. And we've really got a great group of people to work with. We've really been blessed, not just our company, but we have some great clients. We have great relationships with our vendors, and that's always been important to us, is just the relationship. The people, it's more important. The parts are parts, but the people is what makes it special. So I don't know if I kind of talked in the circle there, but
well, so how many kiddos do we have total?
I have three children. Yeah.
All right, we got 3.
Yeah, Logan is our oldest, and he just graduated from Baylor University and got married. So that's changed up our family dynamics a little bit.
No, that changed up our yeah. No, you started to say it right.
Yeah. So, and then our middle son Landen is at Montana State, and then our daughter Lacey is a senior in high school, just about to graduate. And she's going to go to Utah. It looks like Utah University.
Okay.
So yeah, we have some property in Idaho. So wife and I are planning to slow down a little bit, enjoy the outside a little bit, and kind of be in between our kids. And
so kids want to be involved in the business, or they're like, hey dude, we've been around this for decades, no thanks.
Yeah, and my dad was like that with me. If you guys want to come in, we'll try to make a spot for you. If you don't, that's cool too. If you want to do something else, you want to go backpack through New Zealand, and and my dad put that to me, and some days I wish I would have taken his advice. But yeah, I mean, we've been really blessed with a great family and just great people to work with. It's sometimes I look around and just go, man, I don't deserve what's happened. So.
Well, that's awesome, man. You guys have a great story. And again, I enjoyed seeing your dad out at ConAg, and glad he's doing well. Glad the family's doing good. And no matter, we'll say it like him, no matter what Trump does, no matter what he does, it'll be okay. I think the industry is going to continue to grow and thrive, and hopefully it becomes more robust than what it's been in the last decades. And then Evan, my son's going to be involved in the business. So maybe before long, Logan and Evan, they've got the keys, and we're fishing, hunting, doing whatever we do while they're keeping the lights on.
Man, you got a deal right there.
All right, Bryan, well, it's great to have you on Cliff's Notes, and wish you and the family all the best.
Thanks, Cliff.
All right, thank you, man. Appreciate you too.
Cliff's Notes, Cliff's Notes, Cliff's Notes, Cliff's Notes.